Hey, and what's news around the world today?
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's Good Morning
Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
Namaskar.
वनकम,
Namaskara.
खुश आमदीद,
Assalamualaikum.
सत श्री अकाल,
मी गंदरी की वंदनमु.
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्णा.
जय जनेन्द्र.
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बहनों को बोल दे याली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बरजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे. मैं से फालतू बाबा.
And of course, myself Alturani लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बन जाने.
That's right, Bhajan. Of course, आज आपको मालूम होना चाहिए is the 397th day of our sheltering in place for the Janberto. It's been like around close to 400 days of sheltering already. So by the weekend, we would have finished 400 days for the Jan. You can just say 400 days of sheltering in place. But actually, Bhajan still not be lifted. We're just in a tier which is lighter color.
Yeah.
As opposed to purple is now probably in orange, I suppose.
Right.
And by June, expecting everybody to be back in the saddle. Because the vaccination is open for everybody right now, right?
Right.
So that's what we're going to talk about, Banjan, for sure. Like उससे पहले, let's quickly go and see what's happening with the roads, Banjan. रास्ते का हाल आपको देंगे हम लोग total सस्ते में.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Again, Banjan, 408-912-2479. जैसे कि बताया था, people are getting back into the saddle, Banjan. There was a break last week, which was a spring break kind of a thing for some schools and everything. But right now, you can make out the volume of traffic on the roads has increased. Yeah, Banjan, it has increased. The traffic has around 80 eastbound west of Central Avenue in Richmond, slowing down traffic over there. Watch out for that, Banjan. And on the bridge, that is, I'm talking about San Mateo Bridge Pay, there is 92 disabled truck on the east side. It's westbound east of San Mateo Bridge. It's on the westbound portion of 92 Banjan. And similarly, somewhere a little bit about towards Union City at that side, there's a advisory of high winds on the same bridge, eastbound traffic over there. Watch out for that. It's between the San Mateo Bridge and I think westbound and eastbound, both of them actually be affected because of winds, obviously, right? It's near the Hayward and Foss City area, that portion, so watch out for that. And similarly, there also is a traffic hazard reported on 84 eastbound west of Dumbarton Bridge. The midspan over there on Fremont has an incident over there, which is kind of slowing traffic big time in that region. Watch out for that. Northern part of one of our Bay Area, Banjan, near Millbrae, East Millbrae, there's a traffic hazard on 101 northbound, south of Millbrae actually. It's affecting the lanes, but I don't see on the aerial view. I don't see much of a traffic. Traffic is moving, so obviously it's probably something which has been reported a few minutes ago. It might get refreshed, but nevertheless, the traffic is kind of increasing on the roads. But people are either taking a vacation or they actually are they're getting back to work. Whatever, either way, it is a good news for us. Weather-wise, if you take a look at it, weather is going to be nice, hot and sunny today. It's not going to be hot; it's going to be sunny all the way. It's in the upper 50s right now. If you look at the weather outside, it might go maximum lower 70s. That's it. That's not going to be much. 10 degrees variation only. But summer is going to be hot, but the challenge is going to be really, really hot.
Really, Altu Baba?
Yeah.
That's because the hot east is on the air, Bandjan.
That's true. And Faltwani, you can imagine winter actually already, did you know that actually the sunlight actually already is increased right now?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, it's bright all the way until 8:15 like that.
Correct.
So you already know summer's around the corner, by the way. And aapko bata do, Barjan, one more thing which is around the corner is going to be this weekend's event of Pragnya, which is the talent show, which is going to be a talent show for everybody to come and showcase a talent on the stage over here outside our studios, Barjan. It could be anything. It could be something like you I don't know, your talent could be like, you are a person who will, change dresses and everything really fast, right?
Yeah.
All those things could be something which you do. Could also be the fact that you actually are a musician or a musician or I don't know, you could actually be somebody who built something really fast.
What does that mean?
You will be given 2 minutes of time only, but then 2 or 3 minutes maximum they have as a window for somebody to perform some act and move on, right? That's something which you got to keep track of. But then if you want to take part in the particular the talent show, you can just go. It's no contest, but it's a talent show. You'll have people who are going to be non-judgmental, sitting in the audience there and just clapping for everything that you do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna probably dance, I guess. That's what I'll do. And right now, Baja, let me tell you, if you want to know more about all these things, you can go to the website pragnya.org. Again, it's pragnya.org, and you can actually get information there, register for the talent show for sure. It's pragnya.org. And right now, Baja, it's time for us to go and take a look at what's happening with the news world. Faltani, what do we have as news for our bandhus today?
Well, the first news item that I have for you is some great news, Bandijan. NASA's experimental Mars helicopter rose from the dusty red surface into the thin air Monday, achieving the first powered controlled flight on another planet. This triumph was hailed as a Wright brothers. You remember the Wright brothers who got the aircraft going?
But they got it wrong, right?
It's what? Yeah, but this aircraft also just hovered for a few seconds and then came back down. The mini 4-pound copter named as Ingenuity, in fact, carried a bit of wing fabric from the 1903 Wright Flyer, if you remember, which made similar history at the Kitty Hawk Center in North Carolina. We can now say that human beings have successfully flown a rotorcraft on another planet, project manager Mimi Ong announced to her team. That's great news, isn't it?
Hey, is it Mimi Monga or Meme Wong?
Mimi Ong.
Is it Mimi Ong or Meme Wong? M-E, right?
Altubaba.
What?
M-I-M-I.
M-I-M-I. My.
Mimi.
What's my?
Mimi.
Okay, Australia says it was my. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, let's go on over and let's tell you something else that is happening in the United States. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday brought an end to another lawsuit related to the November 3rd presidential election, which is filed by Republican former congressional candidate who had challenged the extension of Pennsylvania's deadline to receive mail-in ballots. The justices, in a brief order, decided that the dispute was moot. They threw out a November 13th decision by the 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia that found the candidate Jim Bognet, as well as 4 other individual voters, did not have a legal standing to challenge the ballot deadline extension. Bognet, who had actually lost his race for a seat in the U.S. House of Reps to Democratic rival Matt Cartwright, and the voters had filed a suit before the election challenging a September 17th ruling by Pennsylvania's top court ordering officials to count mail-in ballots that were postmarked by Election Day and received up to 3 days later. So that's huge news that's coming out of there. Now let's go on and talk a little bit about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that's been in question for the past several days and even the entire weekend, especially with regard to the clots and the situation that's arising out of that. Well, production of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine at a U.S. manufacturing plant was halted by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration while the agency investigates an error that led to millions of doses being ruined last month. Emergent Biosolutions Inc., the company that owns and runs the Baltimore plant that had been making the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, said in a regulatory filing that the FDA requested a pause on April 16th in production of new drug substance for the shot pending completion of the inspection. Johnson & Johnson said it would work with Emergent and the FDA to address any findings at the end of the inspection. Speaking of vaccines, Banijan, CVS Health Corp is now saying they released a statement on Monday that it would offer 3 over-the-counter COVID-19 tests at its drugstores as well as online, expanding access to home testing in the United States. With schools and offices seeking to reopen as the country basically steps up its COVID-19 vaccination drive, pharmacies are now boosting their offering of tests. CVS said it was offering tests from Australian diagnostic test maker Ellume, Abbott Laboratories and LabCorp that do not require a prescription and can be used by individuals with or without symptoms. So you can get more information about that on MediaMahima.com. Now, switching gears just a little bit, Banajan, the Derek Chauvin trial. Remember the the police officer who is being accused of murder, and there's a whole bunch of other charges that have been leveled against him. Well, a prosecutor told jurors to, quote, believe your eyes, unquote, as he replayed the video of George Floyd's death last May beneath the knee of Derek Chauvin in closing arguments on Monday in the former police officer's murder trial. Over and over again, Steve Schleicher, the prosecutor with the Minnesota Attorney General's office, repeated a phrase, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The length of time Chauvin was captured on video on May 25, 2020, with his knee pressed into the dying Floyd's neck. Although the jury's verdict will be seen as a reckoning in the way the United States treats black people, Schleicher emphasized that the jury was weighing the guilt of only one man. This is not a prosecution of the police, he told the jurors. He cited the motto of the Minneapolis Police Department, which fired Chauvin and 3 other officers involved in Floyd's arrest, to protect with courage and to serve with compassion. In political news, Republican U.S. Representative Steve Stivers of Ohio plans to step down next month, he said on Monday, further tightening the balance of power in the narrowly Democratic-controlled House of Reps. Stivers, a former Ohio state senator, has been a congressman for the past decade in Ohio's 15th congressional district, which covers the suburbs around Columbus, the state's largest city. He has served on the House of Reps Financial Services Committee. He basically said that he is grateful to the people of Ohio for putting their trust in him, and that he was going to be stepping down after serving, which has been one of the biggest honors of his life. Democrats, of course, now hold 218 House seats, and Republicans have 212. With his exit, it'll probably be 211. In news with the local Bay Area, Banajan, Santa Clara County officials announced last Sunday that the local supply of the COVID vaccine has increased, and that as a result, thousands of appointments have been added this week. So if you're looking at the secfreevax.org website, please go right away and try to see if you can get an appointment. Apparently, 10,000 more have been added. All people 16 and older who live and work in the county are eligible and are encouraged to sign up for a vaccination appointment at secfreevax.org. Dr. Jennifer Tong, Associate Chief Medical Officer for Santa Clara Valley Medical Center, announced. In Marin County, they're looking to move into the yellow tier this week and could become the first Bay Area county to do so. The county has fewer than 2 COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people and a positivity rate below 2%. So they could be going into a lesser and lesser restrictive tier. Members of the San Jose Sikh community gathered at their place of worship to pray for the 8 people killed in a mass shooting Thursday at the Indianapolis FedEx facility. 4 of them were brothers from the Sikh community, but we're here for everyone that was lost. Sukhdev Singh Baniwal, director of the Sikh Gurdwara in San Jose, announced. Sunday was the second night of remembrance for the victims at the Gurdwara San Jose, the largest Sikh temple in the United States. And more Bay Area schools are set to reopen this week, and Oakland Unified School District is also looking to expand in-person learning to more students. So more on all of that coming up on MediaMahima.com. The world news will be up shortly, but before that, a quick look at the Ganika Kira for today.
That's right, Banjana Ganika Kira. So the movie called Panga. And this song, of course, Banjan, Harshdeep Kaur's voice. I think also Divya Kumar also has done this, right?
I think so.
Javed Akhtar के बोल है Banjan, सिद्धार्थ माधवन की voice में. And music, of course, Shankar Samloy. How can I forget that? That's right, Bajan. पंगा ले लो सभी से नहीं ऐसा नहीं पंगा ले लो अपने मुश्किलों से बलजान पंगा ले लो उनसे जो बोलते हैं आपसे नहीं होने वाला है all those people पंगा ले लो because you can believe you can do what you want to do बलजान and I'll tell you what बलजान आज का जो मैसेज है would be to fact that Saturday को definitely आएगा हमारे talent show में Pragnya is organizing a talent show for everybody out there celebrating diversity and showing that we all can acculturate seeing that we can actually have an event which total non-judgmental. That's why it's not a contest, Balajan. Agar contest it'll become judgmental, right? And we're not promoting judgment at all.
Yeah.
We want people to accept everything openly, and hence I'm asking everybody out there listening right now to take part in this contest. Doesn't matter what you think your talent is. If you think cutting nails is the talent of yours, come and showcase it. Seriously, Bhattari.
Yeah.
The people make a profession out of it, right? Cutting nails. Isn't that called a manicure kind of a thing?
Cutting nails?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a manicure,
Yeah,
yes.
so why not? You can actually have somebody come and do a manicure standing up or sitting down or, I don't know, singing a song or dancing for the matter. I don't know. I can be a good thing. I need to get my manicure done anyways. So if you think you can do that for me, come along and you can be on stage and you can do it and you can showcase that talent as well. But a quick look at what's happening with the world. First one, let's go take it away with our bandhus. They're waiting right now for the news from the world.
Absolutely. Russia's main opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, was transferred to a prison hospital, the prison service, and his lawyer said on Monday. 20 days into a hunger strike that has brought international warnings of consequences should he die in jail. Allies of Navalny, who have had no access to him since last week, said they were braced for bad news about his health. They are planning mass countrywide demonstrations later this week, which the Russian authorities have branded as illegal. Navalny's case has further isolated Moscow at a time when US President Joe Biden's administration has announced tougher economic sanctions, and the Czech Republic, a member of NATO and the European Union, has expelled Russian spies, accusing Moscow of a role in deadly 2014 explosions at an arms storage depot. Russia's prison service has said in a statement that a decision has been taken to transfer Navalny to a regional prison hospital. His condition was, quote, satisfactory, and he was being given vitamin therapy with his consent, it is said. In news from China, Balajan, there's a little bit of technological news. The global shortage of semiconductors is hitting auto production in China, jeopardizing hopes the world's largest car market might spearhead a recovery in the sector, industry executives warn. Automakers around the world have had to adjust assembly lines due to shortages caused by manufacturing delays that some semiconductor makers blame on a faster than expected recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. Volkswagen, China's biggest foreign automaker, which hopes to sell over 4 million vehicles in the country, said the situation had not improved in the second quarter. Britcoin, not Bitcoin, is what British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak told the Bank of England on Monday to look at the case for a new Britcoin, or a central bank backed digital currency, aiming at tackling some of the challenges posed by cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. The Bank of England backed digital version of the sterling would potentially allow businesses and consumers to hold accounts directly with the bank and to sidestep others when making payments, appending the lender's role in the financial system. We're launching a new task force between the Treasury and the Bank of England to coordinate exploratory work on the potential central bank digital currency, Sunak told a financial industry conference. Soon after, Sunak tweeted a single word, Britcoin, in reply to the finance minister's announcement of the task force. That'll be cool, no? Britcoin. And what will American coin be called? Americoin, is it?
I don't think so. We already have Bitcoin, right?
Right, that's true. Well, let's also now move over, and there's news from Pakistan. Pakistan on Monday urged the Taliban to remain engaged in the Afghan peace process after the armed group said it would now shun summits about Afghanistan until all foreign forces leave Afghanistan. The decision was taken after the United States said last week that it would withdraw all troops by September 11 this year, later than a May 1st deadline set out by the previous administration. They take their own decisions, But we will do whatever we can to convince them that it is in their national interest to remain engaged, Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi told Reuters in an interview in Abu Dhabi, speaking about the Taliban. In news from India, Banajan, India is now going to allow citizens over 18, all citizens over 18, to have the COVID-19 vaccinations as of May 1st. The government has announced, as the health system creaked under the weight of the record high cases, and the capital region of New Delhi ordered a lockdown. Facing growing criticism over its handling of the second wave of the pandemic, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration said vaccine manufacturers would have to supply 50% of the doses to the federal government and the rest to state governments and the open market at a pre-declared price. In fact, India has said that the vaccine manufacturers can directly supply now. They don't have to go through the government process in terms of supply chain. Exactly. The Indian capital, New Delhi, will be under a strict lockdown for 6 days starting today. The city's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal adding that the healthcare system was at a breaking point because of the worsening COVID-19 pandemic. There's also an acute shortage of hospital beds, medical oxygen supplies, and key medicines such as the antiviral Remdesivir, Kejriwal said. And Banajan, you remember the NASA copter that we talked about just now?
Yeah.
It's an Indian behind it. Who is the Indian? Is young Balaram. Well, in the 1980s, he was a young man, of course. His name is Dr. Balram, Dr. J. Balram. And if you want to catch up more about him, you can go to mediamahima.com.
The sad part is he wants to go by the name Bob.
Bob, yeah. He called Dr. J. Bob. But sad news a little bit. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has tested positive for COVID-19 and has been admitted to the AIIMS hospital in New Delhi. He has mild symptoms and his condition is currently stable. More on all of this on MediaMahima.com. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Here is the final iteration of our Panga song. Have a magnificent Monday.